Hey Cryptoverse, let's take a look at some Link charts from the latest article on Brave New Coin. So Link is a decentralized Oracle network that can connect off-chain with on-chain stuff with on-chain stuff, brings everything together. What we're seeing now is Link sort of solidify the pipes of a lot of DeFi services. So the use case is actually pretty strong if DeFi has some legs in the future. I always talk about token supply and anything that has had an ICO because that's important to realize how many tokens were minted, who holds these tokens, is there a lockup, what are the conditions. So Link minted 1 billion tokens for the TGE token generation event, and the parent company holds 27% of them. There's no vesting period. They can sell them at any time. They have. Now you can say this is bearish, this is preventing, Mega Moon for Link, whatever. I mean, that's in my head. I'm thinking, who's going to sell and when and why, and can they? So the answer to all those things is yes. They haven't paid out the node operator rewards yet. I don't really know what that's about because I know there's node operators working. So I don't know if there's some timeline that I'm not aware of where these awards start getting paid out. But overall, when you look at the circulation figures based on the market cap, you're going to see this 378 number, 371, somewhere thereabouts. You're not going to see billion token supply market cap. So these are the various nodes that are currently active, some of them anyway, and the contract transaction counts by day. You can see there's definitely an uptick here in transactions overall over time, which is what you want to see if you're bullish on a use case for an asset. This is what one of the oracles looks like. This is the ETH USD price oracle. So you can see they get all these nodes, they get pinged for price basically, and then it averages it all together. So if any one of these goes down, they have 20 other ones that they can use to find the actual price. If you look at transactions per day, which is the line here, versus average transaction values, which is the fill, you can see if you're bullish on anything, you want it up and to the right. So transactions per day on a monthly average, which is what this is, weekly period. So this is 7 days averaged. So it's sustained and it's higher than the highest peak as far as transactions per day. This is exactly what you want to see if you're bullish. Either people are speculating on this more than they were previously, or they're using it for the use case more than they were previously. All these things are bullish. Most likely average transaction values are going to range or stay stagnant. That's not necessarily bullish or bearish. It just represents, either microtransactions or transactional type use cases for the token. If we look at NVT, which is an inverse metric of economic utility, on-chain, and active addresses. So this is a monthly average. I always look at the 30-day stuff when I'm looking at NVT and active addresses, just to get a really good picture without all the noise of what's going on. And again, active addresses up and to the right, making all-time highs. This is exactly what you want to see if you're bullish on anything. NVT coming down, historically probably in the middle, bottom of the range, which is fine. Overall, both of these are more bullish than bearish, especially seeing all-time highs on addresses. To me, that's a stronger sign even than transactions per day on how bullish this stuff is. So looking at the technicals, this is the 12-hour Link USDT chart. I am using the line chart here. Now it did go to 0 on Binance, a penny technically, mainly because somebody just sold down the book and there was no liquidity and down it went. And that'll happen with some of these alts. There isn't amazing liquidity for everything on every exchange. So if some whale wants to come in and just smack the book, it's going to happen, and it happened with Link. In any event, Link is kind of ranging on the USD side between 150 and 3. I don't expect it to like Mega Moon anytime soon on the USD pair. You can see the VPVR, the volume here on the side. Historically, most of the volume for the pair has been between 150 and 3. So it's probably going to reconsolidate here. It'll bounce around. It'll range. That's fine. Everything is death crossing now after pulling back basically 50% or more. This was the highest volume period in Link USDT's history, at least on Binance. And RSI here not showing any bullish divergences, but it is showing RSI hit an all-time low for this pair on this exchange on this time frame on that drop the other day, March 12th, whatever it was. So these are all capitulatory type things, especially anything that goes to zero on a day. I mean, that's a classic capitulation sign. So capitulation is just people selling at any cost, regardless of what was on the book. Clearly, someone just said, I'm done, you know, and that was it. So somebody got hosed for a major loss there, most likely. Looking at the cloud, broke below the cloud. Everything's bearish on the cloud right now. Again, if this is ranging, like multiple month ranging, 6-12 month range period, stuff like trend metrics like cloud and like EMAs becomes less important because trending is the opposite of ranging. You know, random walk, whatever you want to call it, turtle soup, all sorts of crazy names. But anything above 250 is more bullish than it is now into April. So it's got a lot of time. But, you know, this stuff is, I mean, all the markets are going to need some time to chill, find liquidity again, find support, find buyers, find people who didn't get blown out on this drop. And confidence, if it returns, is going to be what's needed to pull this stuff back up again. Looking at the Link BTC pair, there's really nothing that looks as good as Link BTC has looked since mid-2018. I mean, this is the 200 daily moving average, and this is the cloud. Anytime it taps the 200, it bounces up. Anytime it's dipped below the cloud, it's bounced back up, made higher highs. That's exactly what you want to see. This is on the daily chart for Binance. Just extremely strong bullish continuation. Even when the parent company, Smart Contract Limited, was selling, I mean, some of these violent down moves were related to that. Overall, it just got bought right back up. So as good as this looks trend-wise, VPVR doesn't really show much support until like 12,000 sats. So if this does break the 200 with conviction, I don't expect it to magically just pull back up again. It'll probably, again, need to reconsolidate. You know, there was this ascending triangle thing that it broke up out of, and now it's back at previous all-time high zone. So it's going to need some time. All this stuff's going to need some time. You know, these trend metrics, especially the cloud, which is a little quicker than the EMA, it's probably going to go bearish as price goes below the cloud here. There's no bull divs or anything. The volume actually wasn't even that high for the Link BTC pair for Binance on that day. But overall, it looks really good. And the same thing with the Link ETH chart. And I just like to compare like assets in general, even though Link isn't ETH, obviously. But again, it's above the cloud. Anytime it dips in or below the cloud, it immediately gets bought back up. Anytime it's dipped below the 200 or near the 200, it gets bought back up immediately. I mean, it's ranged amazingly well up here at the all-time high, pushed above the all-time high. So the more this just goes sideways, the better. I mean, there's definitely no support until way down here. But it's interesting to compare ERC20 tokens to ETH, the parent token, and to see the ERC20 sort of outperforming the mother chain, if you will. So things that we're looking for this pair is just a break of the 200 again. It's probably going to break below the cloud. It's going to need some time. You probably want to zoom in on this region to look at volume as far as any supports, like last line of support before Mega Doom, if this does roll over. But overall, it looks surprisingly outstanding.